The ground beneath Karthos Nine began to shake. At first the movement was small. Loose dust slid across the broken ruins. Small rocks rolled across the empty plains, then the tremors grew stronger. Deep underground ancient engines were waking up. Jackson Hale stared at the scanner in his hand. New signals continued appearing on the display, one after another, dozens, then hundreds. Each signal carried the same power pattern: Guardian-class machines, dormant for thousands of years, waiting, sleeping. Now waking, Jackson Hale slowly turned in a full circle. The empty wasteland suddenly felt very crowded. The AI spoke again. Multiple activation signals detected. Probability of further Guardian units reaching full power extremely high. Jackson Hale exhaled slowly. That is very bad news. He began walking quickly toward his ship. Dust storms moved across the horizon. The wind howled through broken towers and shattered walls. Behind him the ground cracked open. Metal shapes slowly pushed upward through the stone. Another Guardian arm peered from beneath the crust, then a shoulder, then a massive head. The second machine was waking. Jackson Hale broke into a run. His ship sat several kilometers away. The engines were still warm from landing. He climbed into the cockpit and sealed the hatch. The ship lifted from the ground. As the vessel rose into the air, Jackson Hale looked down. The planet's surface was moving. Cracks spread across entire regions. More machines pushed upward. Black, metal bodies emerging from the dust. Silent giants waking from a long sleep. Jackson Hale whispered quietly, "How many of you are down there?" The AI answered, "Current estimate, unknown, sensor. Its interference increasing, but projections indicate thousands of dormant units." Jackson Hale leaned back in his seat. Thousands. That number alone could destroy civilizations. But something else worried him more. The first Guardian was already gone, and it was heading into the galaxy. The ship computer suddenly flashed with a new signal. Incoming galactic broadcast. Emergency. Frequency. Jackson Hale opened the channel. A frightened alien voice filled the cockpit. "All vessels respond. Unknown. War machine detected near the outer defense ring of the Tarless Union. The machine is ignoring communication attempts. Energy levels rising rapidly." Jackson Hale closed his eyes. That would be the first Guardian. The broadcast continued. "Defense fleets are preparing to engage. All civilian ships evacuate immediately." The signal cut off. "Jackson," Hal whispered under his breath, "that will not work. The builders created those machines for war. Ancient war. The kind that destroyed entire star systems modern fleets had never faced." Something like that. Another signal appeared seconds later. New broadcast from the same system. The voice was different now. Panicked. "The Guardian has destroyed the outer fleet. Energy weapons ineffective, shields collapsing. Evacuate. Evacuate." Now the transmission ended suddenly. Static filled the channel. Jackson Hale slowly opened his eyes. That was fast. The AI calculated silently. Estimated time until Guardian reaches next populated system. 14 hours. Jackson Hale tightened his grip on the control panel. That was not much time. Across the galaxy, other species were already reacting. Military commands issued. Emergency orders, fleets mobilized. Defense grids activated. But none of them understood what they were facing. The Guardians were not simple weapons. They were war machines built by a civilization far more advanced than anything alive today. Machines designed to fight enemies that no longer existed. Now they were awake again. And every living civilization looked like a target. Jackson Hale looked down at Karthos Nine one last time. More machines continued rising from the surface. The planet was no longer a graveyard. It was an army base. Jackson Hale spoke slowly. "Hey, how long until all of them wake up?" The response came quickly. Estimated full activation within 40 hours. Jackson Hale felt a cold wave move through his chest. 40 hours until thousands of Guardians entered the galaxy? The war would not just destroy one empire. It would erase everything. Another alert appeared. This one came from a different system. The second Guardian had arrived, somewhere else. New panic signals spread across the network, cities evacuating fleets, scrambling, sensors unable to stop the machines. Jackson Hale leaned forward in his seat. There had to be a way to stop them. Someone had built the machines, which meant someone had controlled them. The builders were gone, but their systems might still exist. Hidden commands, ancient shutdown, codes, anything. The AI interrupted his thoughts. Analysis suggests command network may still exist within builder technology grid. Jackson Hale turned quickly. Meaning what? Meaning Guardians may respond to authorized builder command signals. Jackson Hale. Eyes widened slightly. So if someone could access that network? The AI finished the thought. Control of Guardian units may become possible. Jackson Hale laughed quietly. That sounded simple, but there was one problem. The builders were extinct. Their command network would not accept random signals, unless Jackson Hale remembered something. The first Guardian had asked a question. Identify. Command authority. The machine expected orders. That meant the system was still searching for someone to lead it. Jackson. Hal whispered slowly, "What if we pretend to be the builders?" The AI paused. Probability of success, extremely low. Jackson Hale shrugged. Better than zero. He turned the ship toward the planet again. Back toward Karthos 9. The AI sounded confused. Recommendation suggests immediate departure from system. Jackson Hale shook his head. If the command network exists, it will be here. This planet was their main base. Their army started here, which means their control system is probably here too. The ship descended once again. The surface looked very different. Now, dozens of Guardians were already standing across the wasteland. Towering figures scanning the stars, preparing to leave. Jackson Hale guided the ship toward the deepest energy reading, a structure hidden beneath the ruins. The ship landed beside a collapsed tower. Jackson Hale stepped outside. The ground vibrated constantly now. Massive machines moved slowly in the distance. He walked toward the ancient building. Broken doors hung open. Inside the structure, old consoles still flickered with faint light. The builders had left their systems behind. Jackson Hale approached the main control panel. Alien symbols covered every surface. The AI began translating fragments. Partial language pattern detected. Possible command interface identified. Jackson Hale placed his hand on the panel. Lights suddenly activated across the room. Ancient screens came alive. One message appeared clearly. Awaiting command authority. Jackson Hale stared at the words. The system was still waiting for someone to give orders. He took a slow breath. Then he spoke. Jackson Hale, acting command authority. The room went silent. Machines processed the input. Outside, another Guardian lifted into the sky. Time was running out. Then the console flashed bright white. Authorization. Request received. Jackson Hale felt his heart pounding. The system continued speaking command. Authority verification required. Jackson Hale leaned closer to the screen. What kind of verification? The answer appeared instantly. Demonstrate. Control. Outside, the ground shook again. Another Guardian began launching into space. The system was giving him a test. If he could control one machine, he could control them all. Jackson Hale looked toward the sky. Thousands of lives depended on what happened next.